Hey everybody, how's it going? Icy Cat here, and now we've got the full reveal for what Operation Shifting Tides will fully encompass, from the new map to the new operators, game features, newest elite set, and more. If you didn't have a chance to watch the Twitch live stream reveal, then stick around, I'm going to give you all the highlights next. We'll begin by taking a close look at the reworked theme park map. They had a few different specific goals in mind when reworking it, and so these are the main highlights. Overall, the map has been made more visible and brighter. Gone are the shadows and difficult to see hiding spots located throughout the map, and everything has been brightened up, new lighting has been added, dark textures have been replaced, and overall it's just going to be a whole lot easier to navigate your way around the map visually without having to worry about deep pockets of shadow and what you might not be able to see. The next major goal is that they made it smaller. They felt that the original map was a bit too maze-like, and so now they've kind of taken some of the elements out, streamlined some other things, and really done a good job of making everything flow better. The entire monorail train section upstairs has been completely removed, and now we can get a look at what the new floor plan looks like. The art assets overall have received a major rework, with a lot of sections just getting new art designs in a completely new direction. But the biggest area where we're going to see that impact is the haunted house area, which has actually been removed. It is no longer haunted house and is instead the Chinese castle side of the map. Here we see a strong Asian theme present throughout this entire section of the map, which will have a now completely new flow, new artistic style, and really feels like a new section of the map overall. Other areas of the map are more or less the same, or at least similar, but do have upgraded art assets and textures and lighting. Now let's take a look at our two newest operators. First up is Callie. She is the Indian attacker. She is a 2-speed, 2 armor. She has a powerful sniper rifle for her primary weapon, and like Glaz, that is her only choice. It is a bolt action sniper rifle, actually almost more of an anti-material rifle, and we'll get to that in a second. Her secondary loadout choices are going to be the C75 auto or the P226 handgun. You'll notice that these are both recycled existing handguns that are already in the game. The anti-material rifle itself, however, is a new addition. Her secondary gadget loadout will be comprised of either claymores or breaching charges. Now let's take a look at that powerful gun itself. It features its own special magnified scope. It has variable sight capability, so when zoomed in, it can be at either a 5 times magnification or punched in even more tightly for a 12 times magnification. Now, what makes this an anti-material rifle versus a sniper rifle is that it does a lot of environmental damage in a couple of different ways. The first is that it will shoot through soft penetration walls, and if there's more than one behind it, it will go through consecutive soft breach walls as well. And these aren't just small holes, these are like small shotgun size holes that it leaves in its wake. Not only will it go through multiple walls, but if you manage to actually line up consecutive operators, the round will punch through both operators immediately. Now, this is not a one-shot kill weapon, but it is a one-shot down but not out if it hits the torso. The interesting thing about this is that the defender gets spun around to face the direction that the shot came from instantly when they go into that down but not out state. This is a bolt action rifle, so there is a little bit of delay before that follow-up shot can occur. Now, her special ability is not actually the sniper rifle, though. It's the launcher that sits underneath it, and this launcher is special. It burrows in and explodes, and this makes small holes in reinforced walls, and it does it by doing an electrical discharge at the same time of the explosive discharge. So this will also short out any kind of bandit batteries, mute jammers, Kaid claws, anything like that. It doesn't just work on reinforced walls. You can also shoot the launcher at things like castle barricades, and when it detonates, it will break the entire door open. You can even fire the device at non-breachable wall surfaces. To further round out its role as an anti-material rifle, it is also very powerful. It will one-shot break wooden barricades. So this weapon, while slow to fire, is extremely powerful. Now, the launcher device itself is a projectile, and as such is affected by both Jaeger ADS units and WAMAI's new magnet devices, which we'll get to in just a moment. Additionally, the device does have a little bit of a delay before it explodes, allowing any defenders that can get a line of sight on the back of it to go ahead and shoot it out. Callie is meant to be something of a combination between an operator like Glaz and also an alternative pick for Thatcher, taking some of the strengths of both of those operators and rolling them into one new one. Now we'll take a look at the new Kenyan defender. This is WAMAI. He is a 2-speed 2-armor operator as well. His primary weapons will be either the MP5K or the AUG A2, with secondary weapons being a choice between the Rhino D40 or P12 handgun. Once again, you will notice these are all recycled weapons that are already in the game. Secondary gadgets will consist of either deployable shield or barbed wire. Now, the magnet is a really interesting device. It is something that can be tossed out, so this can be thrown up into high places, unlike the Jaeger ADS device. Like Callie, WAMAI is also meant to be an alternative pick to an existing operator, in this case, Jaeger. Now, he's not going to be as fast as Jaeger, but his device does work differently, and he can actually throw his gadget instead of having to place it somewhere. This allows him to put it high up in places where Jaeger's ADS device would not have been able to get to before. Now, his device stockpile builds up in a fashion similar to Legion's, so he will get these replenished over time, adding additional units. The longer he lives, the more of these devices he'll be able to throw out. Once deployed, they have a very large area of effect, and any projectiles that cross that area of effect will get immediately sucked toward the device magnetically. So it crosses that area of effect, gets magnetically captured, and then pulled in right to that device. And when that happens, the detonation sequence of that device, so like the timer on a grenade or what have you, is reset, and then it will eventually detonate. And when it does so, the magnet device itself is also exploded, so it is no longer useful. These are one-use devices. Now, this will affect pretty much all the projectiles in the game. So we're talking about Fuse or Gridlock's Trax grenades. Even Capito's arrows from his crossbow will be affected by this device. The only operator that doesn't seem to be affected by it is going to be Hibana. Her pellets will not be disrupted. The thing that makes this gadget really interesting is that you can throw it out pretty much anywhere you need to, and while you can place it in the objective room and use it in that way, an even more creative way to use it is to actually go ahead and toss that into areas where the attackers will be throwing it from. This will pull the grenade back into the area where the attackers might be, and then cause the detonation to occur back in the area where they currently already are. There are very interesting ways that this can be turned around on attackers. And unlike the Jaeger ADS devices, where once you know they're in play, you kind of are aware of where they're going to be, you can drone them out, you know where they are, the WAMAI devices being tossed out as they build up over time have a lot more unpredictability about where you might encounter them. Now, there's also some gameplay changes. We have some new reworks on the way bullet penetration is handled. Previously, if you were to actually go ahead and shoot an operator that was in a kind of animation stance where a limb would be held up to the face, like for instance when they're affected by a flashbang, there would not be penetration through that hand or arm. Essentially, the headshot would be blocked and denied. Even though you got that headshot, it just wouldn't count. Well, now penetration will take that into effect. So even if that hand or arm is up blocking the head, it will still punch through the limb and get the headshot. Another change comes to the rappel mechanic. One thing that could be frustrating is that you would be up near that top ledge, maybe you would be inverted trying to look down through a window, and you would come up a little too high and you would wind up climbing back over the ledge when you didn't intend to. Well, now that's no longer going to be the case. You will now have to make a conscious decision to go ahead and engage into that climbing over the top of the ledge. So this gives you more control and doesn't trap you into an unintended animation at the wrong moment. Casual is now no longer going to be called casual, it will be called quick match. Also, all modes will now be getting the rules guide provided that we were seeing before in ranked. This will now be present in any playlist that you go into. It explains the maps available and in general gives players a clearer idea of what they're getting into. The next major elite has also been revealed. Capito is the next one to get it. We've seen this on some other elite operators before, for instance, like Glaz, where he kind of just looks like an everyday citizen, and we've got similar themes going on here. Just going with the jeans and t-shirt look, you can see the victory animation, and you get a little bit of a look at the gadget skin on the crossbow mounted on his back. Now, of course, this will also be accompanied by new weapon skins for his entire loadout. Operation Shifting Tides will be available on the test server starting tomorrow. That is November 11th. That will be available. We'll get patch notes at that time. The test server will go live, and we will be checking out all of these things for ourselves at that point in time. Now, anything that's been listed here is subject to change based on what they see during that test server phase. So they may find that some aspects are too overpowered or too underpowered, and they may do some small modifications to the way some of that stuff works. I will, of course, be covering all of that in some in-depth videos, so be sure to watch out for that. So if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. Click that notification icon so you're alerted as soon as new information becomes available. You can also follow me over at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.